Welcome to the Science of Scent. I'm Papa Scent, and today's review, Wallstreet by Bond No.9. If you're not familiar with this brand, it's a great brand out of New York. Had an opportunity to go to their Bond Street No.9 location and pick up a bottle. The purchase I made then was called Fi-Di. That was my first Bond, and I was recently gifted by a friend of mine, Wallstreet. I don't know if you're familiar with Wallstreet or not. This is, I guess, supposed to smell like money. Now, I have tested this before. I've tested many of the Bonds, particularly when I went to their flagship store in New York about a year ago, and so I know what this smells like, and I like it. It's an aquatic, and we're gonna go ahead and test a couple of sprays here. There we go. Let that swim a bit. So, sweet bottles, all pretty much in the same design. They come in hundreds and sometimes 50s. And then if you're really swanky, you can get the ones with the crystals all over them. Those are way too expensive for my blood, but they sure do look cool. I highly recommend going by any of their boutiques if you get an opportunity. So, as I can smell it from here, it's got that kind of cucumber and opening, kind of melon, which you might pick up in some other scents. Maybe something like, I don't know, aquatic, yeah, maybe a little bit more like a Santal 33 by Le Labo. That one's pretty easy to pick up. Some people think it smells like pickles, but this has a kind of a seaweed. I don't know if it's really seaweed. It is definitely an ocean smell. So when I say aquatic, it's not a freshwater aquatic. It's more salty. It's got a little bit of that Melissinium Imperial saltiness. If you've ever smelled that by Creed. And I've seen some real negative reviews for this. People talked about how it smells like wet dog in the dry down. And not a dog person myself, not a fan of wet dog. I have never got wet dog off of this. It's not. There's not an animalic side to it, but it's definitely got that oceanfront kind of saltiness. A little bit of, there's something vegetal, I wouldn't call it seaweed, more like a seagrass or a moss, but it's definitely got those aquatic notes, and you can tell that in the base they've used some kind of a wood, maybe cedar wood. I don't think it's auger wood. I don't get so much of a gaiac wood, but there's definitely some woods there in the base. And so as this dries down on me, I lose a lot of the oceany side of things. The cucumber kind of mellows into the wood, and it smells like sort of a green wood. And I think that's highly appropriate since we're talking about Wallstreet and money, right? Like greenbacks, right? So if I'm thinking of green wood, greenbacks, yeah, that makes sense. Would I put a lot of sprays of this on? In the spring? Yeah, load up. Summertime, it's going to jump off you. The Bond No.9 makes strong scents. Not a whole lot of them that I would call a weak scent. If you've ever smelled maybe Scent of Peace Natural, maybe you could call that maybe a weaker scent, just because it uses natural notes and chemicals, I should say that, aroma chemicals, rather than boosting it with some of the synthetics like the rest of their line. People do sometimes refer to Bond No.9 as synthetically smelling. I think that's kind of the appeal. It's a bold scent, it's modern, it's not supposed to smell old or historic. They really go for capturing the essence of if like Bleecker Street, named after Bleecker Street, different streets, Wallstreet, Jones Beach. My daughter is a big fan of Jones Beach. They try to take the locations and find the essence of and create a scent around that, and that's New York. New York's a very modern city, so it makes sense to me that they have a strong perfume line. If you've ever tried their Dubai collection, that's even the next level up in not only scent, but it's also in price. Not a huge fan of the Dubais, at least not like, ooh, I gotta have that one, but I do like the Platinum. That is a woody scent, and I am all about warm, spicy, woody scents. And that one is definitely got its own unique character as far as woods are concerned. So again, don't get Wallstreet and not think that it's going to smell a little bit like the ocean. So to some people that's a great appeal, some it's not. So I wouldn't blind buy this. I would definitely try to get some of the testers, some of the samples. Get a decant online, find somebody on any of the Facebook groups that's willing to share. There's a lot of really friendly people out there, especially when you reciprocate, you send, they send. It's a great way to find people in the community that have got a scent, and maybe somebody's picked it up and they don't like it. Maybe they decided, maybe they did blind buy it, or they decided they didn't like it after all. You can usually get a great deal off a slightly used bottle that way. Many shout outs to my buddy Jeremy for sending me this. I told him that I would review this on the channel. Love the presentation, love the bottles. If you do buy testers though, be warned, you will not get a cap. So they'll arrive like this. I bought a few testers, not ashamed to say it. I'll buy retail if the mood strikes me. But usually when I make multiple purchases, it is online through discounters. That's a great way to grow your collection. But when you can get a full presentation retail, it's just extra special. And when it's a gift, and you gotta love that, right? So again, designed to smell like money in Wallstreet. You're right there on Manhattan Island, so you do get those ocean breezes. River breezes, I guess. It's kind of saline, right? And it's the pleasant notes. And look, perfumes are subjective, right? This is art for the nose, and art is always subjective. Some art people just love, and some art people don't. However it strikes you, the notes that you're interested in, that you gravitate towards, this may be for you, may not be for you. Aquatics are kind of up in the air for me. Sometimes I really like them, and sometimes they're just, I don't know. If it smells too much like, I don't know, like a suntan lotion, I'm usually not a fan. But that doesn't mean I don't like fruity. And even coconut can be used well in a, I don't know if there's too much coconut in Beach Hut Man, but I recently tested that and I really like it. I know the name is probably misleading my brain on what that's supposed to smell like, but the Herba Puras. So Jazada Ambassador, those are mango forward scents that I really like. So anyway, just ranting a little bit there. Sometimes there's areas that you'd like, and sometimes there's areas that you don't like. This is definitely one that you need to try first, but it's one that there isn't a lot out there. Again, you might find something like Dolce & Gabbana Eau Intense. It's got a little bit of cucumber. It doesn't have the seaweed per se. I would say that there's another note here that kind of gives you that bright sparkle. It's supposed to have an ozone note, and ozone's kind of an electrical smell. So if you ever, I don't know, copy machines kick off some ozone. I don't know, I say it smells like a copy machine. That's a terrible thing to say, but yeah, it gives it a bright, maybe sparkle, something almost crisp, but it's not really a note per se. It's more of an effect. So other things that might have ozone in it, Acquadigio Profondo is one that has a seaweed note. It's more mainstream, so it's not really strong. It does have kind of that marine, also has that ozone sparkle, but it is more, how would you say, mass appealing, right? It's a designer, so it's designed to really capture people's attention and not to challenge them in big ways. Bond No.9 does challenge you. They challenge you to experience what they've created, and Wallstreet's no different from that. But it is a great scent. It's very masculine, very, and I want to say a woman couldn't wear it, but it's not an up close personal scent. I wouldn't want to be intimate with my partner. You know, I wouldn't put this on before going to bed. This is definitely a go, put it on, go outside. Let the wind blow it around. You know, this is walking the streets of New York, heading from building to building, going to a meeting. You know, this is an active kind of scent. And it'll get noticed. And in the ways that, like I said, Santal 33, that's some people's signature scent. I picked it up from a stewardess on an airplane, sitting there with my wife, and I'm like, she's wearing Santal 33. And sure enough, I asked her, and she's like, yes, I am. That's my signature scent. I'm one of the people that think it smells a little bit like pickles. Okay, and I brought a tester over to my wife. I'm like, what do you think of this? She's like, that smells like pickles. And she loves pickles, but she didn't want to smell like it. But other people, they just absolutely love it. And I think it does smell better in the air than it does on the skin. And this might be one of them too, where maybe somebody's really digging their nose into the dry down on their skin and going, ooh, I smell like a wet dog. But I guarantee you the people around you aren't. There's no, and I'm not even saying I've never picked up wet dog. I don't know. That's just kind of stuck in my head from some of the reviews I read and some of the things that I've watched. I don't get that. It's not animalic. It's not earthy. It's not even petrichor. You're not getting that rain or wet kind of smell. This smells like ocean air. Ocean air mixed with a little bit of like I said, that melon, that cucumber, and that bright kind of sparkle. It's almost like crisp dollar bills. That's the way it comes off to me. It doesn't smell like money per se, but that crispness and the fact that it's called Wallstreet, and if you've walked the streets of Manhattan, particularly in the summertime, you'll pick up those water breezes as they come up the street, and maybe that's part of the appeal too. It's a little bit of the street. But it's definitely a unique scent, and it's great to have in your collection. I'm Papa Scent. If you like this review, like and subscribe.